Hello friends! I have fun things happening in this vlog. Obviously by the title we are doing a 30-day reset detox thing. I've known for a while that I wanted to kind of unplug from social media and just really connect in real life with people, with myself. I feel like I, especially as a content creator, can put a lot of my identity in numbers and in what I do, and I felt like I was kind of moving in that direction where I was really caring too much about things that shouldn't really matter, and I felt like I wasn't living as much in person and in real life as I was online, if that makes sense. I feel like I was spending a majority of my time either online or sharing my life for online purposes. I don't know if that even makes sense. But moral of the story, yeah, I was just feeling like I wasn't being very present, especially with the seasons kind of changing now and spring starting to arrive, or trying to at least. I really just wanted to take a solid chunk of time to live in it. So with all that said, I did create, if you do follow me on Instagram, you probably saw my couple posts on my stories about it already, but I did make a little reset detox guide, and it has a printable packet, because not only did I want to unplug from social media for a few days, but I also wanted to challenge myself to forming better habits and doing things that would just really help me and encourage mental clarity, mental well-being, overall health, all that jazz. So I did end up calling it a mindful month, and it's a 30-day reset and detox, and it just says down here at the bottom, an intentional time to digitally unplug and encourage mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So that's pretty much what this does. So what I'll do for the next 30 days is I will track my mood morning and night, and that is this first page. And then I will also I'm just gonna show the digital versions over here because it's kind of hard to see on the paper. But then I will be tracking all of my meals for the day. So everything I'm eating, all the water that I'm drinking, I'll be tracking kind of all of that. And then I will also be tracking what I did. So the purpose of all of this tracking is to be able to reflect on what I'm eating, what I'm doing, and how that's affecting my overall mood, my overall quality of life, how I'm feeling, all that stuff. And then I'm also going to be doing a daily journal entry. It doesn't matter how long or short it is. I just want to write a few things down about what I did that day, maybe some feelings I was going through. It could literally be whatever I want it to be for that day. But I just want to challenge myself to actually journal every day, because that's something that I really am horrible at doing. I made this little printable PDF available for you guys to also download and do at your own time if you wanted. So that will be linked below. But this month I also asked on my Instagram story if there was some people who maybe wanted to do this with me in March. And so I have a little group of girls. I think there's about 10 of us, and we are all going through this 30-day thing together, and we have a little Discord chat. So we will kind of be holding each other accountable and checking in on each other and just kind of talking through what we're doing, how we're feeling kind of throughout these 30 days, which I think is so fun because I love having accountability buddies and other people to do these things with. I might do this, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year. So I will let you guys know when I do it again next, and if you want to join in on that, you can. But until then, yes, it'll be linked below for you guys to kind of do as you wish. You can also change this to fit 1 week, 2 week, 3 week intervals, I guess. It doesn't have to be 30 days. You can really do it however many days that you want to do it. So at the end, one of the last pages, I also added a bunch of activities that I want to incorporate into every day. And these are all activities that promote emotional, physical well-being, mental well-being. So I have stuff like take a walk outside, do some stretching and yoga, homemade face mask, read a book, cook a nourishing meal, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's what my next 30 days are gonna look like, and I just wanted to film the whole thing. I wanted to vlog throughout this experience because what I have planned, I feel like I'm going to be going through a bit of emotional challenges. I'm going to do a lot of self-reflection. I'm going to be obviously connecting more with myself and with others. So I just wanted to document that and share that with you guys and see all the ways. Hello, Squishy Squash. So I wanted to just document all that and just kind of share, like I said, all the ways that unplugging and getting offline and just putting my focus into the here, the now, me, my loved ones, and just see the way that changes my life and the way that it impacts and affects my life. So today is day one. It's March 1st. And I'm actually starting this challenge off strong because I did schedule a facial about a month and a half ago for today. So it all kind of worked out. So I'll be doing that. I have to leave here in about 10 minutes. I absolutely love the girl that I go to for facials. She does all like natural holistic skincare. So it's so good. It's so much fun. So after that, I do have to do some work from home. And then I think I'm just going to take the rest of the day to plan out a little bit the rest of the month and probably do some more reading. I did want to start a new book today, so hopefully I am able to get to that. So with all that said, I will see you guys after my facial. Hello, friends. We are on day 4 now of my 30-day reset. Honestly, I totally forgot that I was vlogging throughout this whole thing, so I forgot for the last couple days to actually vlog and update you guys. But like I said, yeah, we're on the 4th day and I'm having a great time. Honestly, it's not as hard as I thought it would be to not be on social media, but I also should make a little disclaimer that I do social media for a living for another company. So I'm not on my personal social medias, but I still have to be on my works like Instagram and Facebook and like social medias and stuff. But because it's not my personal one, I don't feel like I go on there and like scroll. I kind of just like do what I need to do and then get off. But not being on my own social media, I feel like has been so nice and beneficial for my brain, because not only am I noticing that I have more time kind of throughout the day, like I don't waste as much time like on social media, but I also just kind of find that my brain is a little bit clearer. I feel like I go on social media a lot to like pass the time, or sometimes like I'll go on there and then I'll get kind of like roped into random rabbit holes and stuff that just don't really matter or don't like add anything to my life. They just literally waste my time. So I have just noticed that every time I do want to pick up my phone now, it's more of like an intentional purpose. Like I think I opened my Instagram 1 or 2 times the other day because after my facial, she had like sent me something on Instagram, and so I just like checked that and then like got off. Also, I feel like I've noticed that I go on social media kind of as a distraction. So not having that distraction lately, I have noticed a lot that I'm a very anxious person. And like I knew this before, but it wasn't until I started like documenting how I was feeling morning and night and like what I was doing throughout the day that I realized like how constantly anxious I was. Nearly every emotion or like every day that I've written down so far, morning and night, there's been a little bit of anxiety. And again, like I said, I knew that before kind of, but I didn't realize to the extent of my anxiety. So that is something that I'm definitely going to be addressing throughout the next couple weeks, whether that be with more intentional self-reflection or maybe talking about that more in therapy, or maybe a mix of multiple things, taking an hour or so every day to just check in with myself and do more like grounding exercises. I don't know, but going back to when I said that I feel like my head is a little bit clearer, I just feel like I'm able to notice things about myself. And since I am doing more intentional like self-reflection with my time instead of being on social media or online or doing other stuff, I'm starting to notice things that are maybe connected. Like I notice that when I start to feel really nauseous and like sometimes when I feel really sick, it's because I'm so anxious, or it's because like my brain is spinning, or like my body's just kind of like on fight or flight mode, or whatever. But if I hadn't have taken the super intentional time to do that self-reflection, I probably wouldn't have realized that that was really going on. So with that, I have been the last like 2 days, especially like right when I wake up and before I go to bed, I've been trying to just do things that will bring me more peace, whether that be laying down, listening to some music, or watching a comfort movie, or having some intentional prayer time. I've been trying to just regulate and ground first thing in the morning and when I go to bed. And then throughout the day, I'll also just like check in with myself. And if I need to take a break, I'll take a break. If I need to go sit in a closet and just turn into a hermit, then I'll do that. Like I'm just doing things that I need to do to let my body know that it is safe and that I don't need to constantly be in fight or flight mode. So I'm really proud of myself for pointing that out and trying to address it during this time. I have been doing my journaling every night. night, which I'm so proud of because I'm literally the worst journaler. I think the reason I don't like journaling so much is because it hurts my hand. Like, I know that sounds really dumb, but I just don't like physically writing for a long period of time because it literally just hurts my wrist so bad. But I will say, like, getting everything out on paper and just taking that and like intentional time to write down like what I did today, what I'm feeling, it just feels really good. And then I know once I'm done with this, I can go back and reflect on everything that I was feeling every day and see the ways that I kind of worked through that, or maybe see the things that I'm still struggling with. So I'm really glad that I incorporated daily journaling into this little reset. The other day, I also had my best friend's baby shower, so that was super fun. And I feel like normally in like social settings, I get really anxious, and I'm not like, I'm a social person, but like being social gives me like really bad anxiety, and especially being around like a lot of people. So normally if there's just like kind of in between awkward times, or if I just need to like get away, I'll just go on my phone. But I actually didn't do that this time, and I like kind of forced myself to like be social and just, I don't know, keep talking about things. And I found that I was actually, as scary as it was and as like anxious as I was doing it, I felt really good like getting to know these people more and like reconnecting with some people that I haven't seen in a while. And like, yes, there were awkward times and there were like awkward silences and awkward pauses, but just like continuing to converse and be social, like it was actually kind of fun. And I think once we embrace the fact that not every conversation is going to be like perfectly flowing and comfortable, and once we just embrace the fact that there's going to be awkward silences and like that's okay, we take that pressure off of ourselves, and it's like a lot easier to be social. Like, again, as scary as it is and as anxious as I was throughout the whole thing, I just found that those awkward silences and like just moving past those awkward silences and like continuing to just ask questions and converse, like it came to a point where like it wasn't so scary anymore, and that was really cool. And I think not going on my phone like nearly at all the entire time that I was there, I was really proud of myself. But anyway, today I just went to work, got home, and I made some leftovers for dinner. So now I'm editing another video, and I'm going to probably continue reading a book that I am in the middle of that I'm loving. Something I just found that I wish I would have started on day one is Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. Sometimes she does these like 30-day yoga things. And so I wish I started day one on day one of this challenge, because now I'm gonna start day one tonight, but it's on day 4 of my challenge. So I wish I would have done that like on the day of. But I'm also going to be starting that. It's her like flow series. It's her most recent, well, at the time I'm filming this, it's her most recent like 30-day thing that she's doing. I don't go to the gym ever because it makes me anxious and I just really hate it. And because it's winter, I can't really go outside and hike and can't like do the things that I normally do in like the spring and summer and fall, outdoor activity exercise wise. So I'm trying to do more like at home active exercising type of things. So I figured a 30-day yoga challenge month thing would be great. So that's what we're gonna do. Then I'm going to make some tea and do my journaling, and then I will check in with you guys whenever I remember to film next. Hello, friends. It's been quite a few days since I updated you guys last. I think the last time I recorded was on day 4, and today is day 12. So I just love how I'm always like, I'm going to record an update like every few days, or I always like tell myself I'm going to do things and then I don't. So in my defense though, there has been quite a bit going on in my life over the last, I don't know, week or so. Like I just said, a lot of stuff has happened, kind of. I will touch on the good stuff first. I have been trying to be a little bit more social. I did finally attend my in-person book club, which was really fun. I love this little group of girls, and it's just so much fun to kind of hang out and talk about books, and especially since we all read the same book. Like, I don't know, it was just a really fun thing. But I also have been trying to, I don't know, just get out of the house more. I've been going to one of my local like zero waste store and cafes for lunch, and I've been trying to kind of like go to Barnes and Noble and hang out there more and just, I don't know, get out of the house a little bit more. I have been also trying to go on more walks every day. Having a desk job has been honestly really rough for me over the last few months because I do better when I'm like constantly moving. And it's not that I am constantly doing things. It's just like sitting down looking at a screen all day is just, it doesn't work very well with like how I operate. So there's that. But also something that happened this week. I guess it was last week. I took a hormone test. It's called a Dutch test. So that tests like where my reproductive hormones are at and my cortisol levels, my circadian rhythm, DHEA, like it kind of just tests all of that. And I found out that not only are my like sex hormones all over the place, but my cortisol is also like the lowest that it could possibly be. So my whole body is just messed up right now. I'm in like adrenal fatigue, and my body has just been in constant fight or flight mode for so long that it just really threw everything off. So, I mean, it explains why I feel so exhausted all the time without like doing a lot. It was also oddly validating for me because I don't sleep well at all, and I feel like constantly exhausted even throughout the day, and I just always felt like I was running on fumes. And I just didn't know if that was like in my head or I don't know. I was just always really hard on myself about that. And now to like have an actual medical test and like have it on paper that yes, Faith, you are running on fumes. I don't know. That was just really validating for me. And it made me feel like I wasn't going crazy, you know? Like, I don't know. So that was, it was really hard. And that is going to be really hard to fix because it's going to require quite a bit of like extensive therapy, and I have to take some new supplements and whatnot. So we are just really working on getting everything balanced out and back on track. I don't know honestly when it got messed up, but I feel like it's probably been a while because I've been feeling like this for quite a while. But I am just so glad that I got that test done, because also with that, since my body is just in fight or flight so much, and since all of my hormones are all like crazy, my body can like start to shut down unnecessary functions for survival, for example, my digestive system. So we think that might also kind of be a reason why I have really crappy digestion and why I have a lot of stomach issues, is because of major anxiety and just all that stuff. I'm obviously not a medical professional, so I don't know how to like explain this very well, but I will probably link a couple like blog posts and I don't know, like medical websites and stuff that kind of explain this better. But yeah, so with that, I've been in talk therapy for a while, like 5 years, and I just started going to craniosacral therapy with somato emotional release. My doctors think that I should do EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization regulation. Oh no, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So it's just another form of like therapy. So I know that's going to be a really hard time. So not looking forward to that, but also looking forward to how that will help. So as far as the social media part and like being on my phone and stuff goes, I have been fairly good about like staying off social media. I obviously have to go on there for my day job and a tiny bit for YouTube stuff, but not that much. So I really haven't been on like my personal accounts very much at all. But I am still finding that I'm on my phone quite a bit, which I'm I'm glad I'm noticing that now so that I can stop. But I just noticed that sometimes I'll start like scrolling through Pinterest, or I'll do a lot of like research online for, like, lately I've been trying to find more hiking gear and stuff, because me and Danny really want to go hiking a lot this year, and I just don't have equipment, like good hiking apparel and equipment. So I've been looking a lot into all that, which I know that that's not like being on social media and like being online, but it also kind of is, because I'm obviously like on my computer and like looking at stuff. So I'm trying to limit how much I'm online shopping and online browsing, because the only reason I've been going on Pinterest too is to look up like good hiking gear, like outfits and stuff like that. But still, I think that since I'm a big routines person, I just in my routine, like social media and just being online was part of my routine for so long that now just like cutting that out, I feel like my routines are off. I know that sounds really stupid, but I just have to figure out like a new routine to follow. It's so funny, like with my ADHD, I don't like to be bored and I like to be like doing new things, but with those like autistic parts of my brain, I need routine, and I don't like when my routines change. So the last like 2 weeks or so, a little bit below, that I've been doing this challenge reset detox thing, I just feel like my routines have been so off because I'm like trying to do new things that it's like stressing me out, and I don't end up really like enjoying the things that I'm trying to do because it's just like not in my normal routine. So I don't know like scientifically like how long it takes to develop a new routine, but I did start like writing it down on paper last night, like what I want my weeks to look like. The weather is also going to start getting a little bit warmer at the end of this week, so I will also be enjoying more outside time, because lately I've been trying to go on more walks, like I said, but it's still been like pretty cold, and I don't have like super good like cold weather gear or apparel, so it's just kind of been a struggle, but I've been making it work. But now that the weather's actually somewhat getting warmer, I'm really excited to go out and enjoy that. Anyway, yeah, so I've also been missing a few days on like when I try and fill out my little thing. I've been missing a couple days, but I also like have been trying not to be too hard on myself with this. So I'm like, it's okay if I skip a couple days, as long as I'm doing like the majority of them, then it's fine. Because I know that I get busy and I forget and whatever. I've been doing really good with my journal entries. I think I only missed like 2 or 3 days, if that. So challenging myself to consistently journal, I think it has been beneficial, and it's been nice to not only just get kind of everything out of my head, but also to look back on later on. The more time that I spend off social media, the more that I don't really care if I'm on it, if I'm being honest. I feel like when I am on social media, I tend to compare kind of myself, but also like the content I'm making to like other people's content, and I find also that I want more things. Like if I'm on Bookstagram, for example, and I see like a stack of new books that someone got, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I want to go book shopping, you know? Or if I see someone that has, I don't know, some cute home decor or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really want that. So I feel like not being on there has helped me like not want things as much, and also not being on social media, even though like the book community and my like Simply Faith community, it's neither of them are negative like whatsoever, but since it is just social media, things just pop up like on my suggested or on my home like my search feed and all that stuff, and I always tend to see either negative things or like negative comments, even if it's on like someone else's account. If I see negative comments, it's still like negativity that I'm reading, even though it's not geared towards me, like it's still negativity. So I've just been noticing that not having to see like any negativity or any like scary things or anything that would like stress me out, it's just been really nice to like not have that in my brain, because I feel like it's been easier to kind of check in with myself and like regulate my emotions when I'm not consuming so much content, you know? So overall, so far, I feel like being as much as I am off social media has been very beneficial for my brain. And since I am just going through a lot right now, I think that if I was on social media and if I was spending time like consuming content, it would just be a lot harder to be so like super present with myself and really just focus on my healing, I guess. But yeah, that has kind of been the last week or so. Now I am going to try and read a little bit tonight and make a good nutritious meal, probably go on a walk. And I think the biggest thing that I need to do right now is establish those new routines. So just making a list, like writing down what I would like my ideal week to look like, and then just trying to continue with that. I feel like lately I've had really bad like ADHD paralysis, or just like paralysis in general, where I know that there's a lot of things that I could be doing right now, but I'm just mentally and physically just foggy. I just can't start anything. I know like once I start something, I'll be able to like continue on with it and I'll have a good time, but it's just right now I think I'm like overthinking a lot of things, and I am just a little bit overwhelmed. And so many days I have looked on Airbnb and I have looked at like little weekend trips that I could go on, because I just want to get away. Like I just want to go somewhere and have a little trip, relax, reset. So who knows, maybe next weekend I will be in the mountains somewhere. Who knows? But anyway, yes, that's it for now. I will try to update you guys in a couple days, but we'll see what happens. Hello, friends. I'm actually doing pretty good because it is now day 18, so I think I've only had about 4 days in between when I filmed last and now. But I wanted to check in because A, it's been a couple days, obviously, and B, I feel like a lot happened on Thursday and kind of over the weekend that I wanted to talk about. So starting off, I know I talked a little bit about my like craniosacral therapy and all that, so I wanted to go into some pretty cool stuff that happened on Thursday at my appointment. So I don't know if I explained this before or not, but to put it in simple terms, at this therapy, she does a couple things. She first of all like kind of goes through all of my connective tissue and kind of like manipulates it and like puts pressure on certain areas of my body to relieve pain and stress and tension and all that stuff. But another part of it is the somato-emotional release part. So pretty much what we do is kind of focus on certain parts of my body that I am holding certain emotions in or tension or whatever, and we just like work through those and maybe the trauma that's attached to it. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but that's lightly the gist of it. So we kind of started around my stomach and back area, and I felt like I had a knot in my stomach and there was some tightness in my back, like kind of in the same area. Like if you could just put a spear or something like through my stomach and through my back, like it was the same spot, and I just felt like I had a knot there, and like I was just kind of like ugh. And I think that was from me just having like anxiety about my like hormone test results and like not knowing what to do with all that, and feeling a little bit at a loss because some of it isn't stuff that's like in my control and some of it's not going to be like easy to figure out. And I don't know, I was just having a lot of like feelings and anxiety and stress about all of that. So we went in and she asked a couple questions like, what are you feeling here? Like, where do you think this is like coming from? And she said, like, if you can visualize it, like, what do you see? I told her, like, I literally see, like, a knot. Like, it looks like this. Like, that is what it was in my stomach. When I close my eyes, like, that's what I see. It had a color. It was, like, a dark red, brown. I don't know. It was, like, a dark color. So I told her how I was like stressed and how, like I said, I just felt like it was stuff that was out of my control and I didn't really know what to do about it. And she asked how it felt to have professionals and people that I can trust to put, the care of my body into. And that felt really nice because if you watched my like health journey thus far, that was like one of my previous videos, I have had a lot of bad luck and some not so great experiences with like medical professionals. Now that I'm working closely with people who kind of align with the way that I want to treat my body and they really do care about everything and they see me in like a holistic view, and I don't know, like she just asked how it felt to know that I was taken care of now. So this is where like, this is a different type of therapy than like just talk therapy, because this is where we kind of like talk to different parts of our body. So like I'm closing my eyes and I'm like seeing this knot in my stomach and I'm like weirdly talking to this knot in my stomach and like telling it that I am being taken care of and that I and we can trust these people to care for us, and it doesn't always have to be like on our shoulders. So I like slowly kind of felt the knot start to loosen and untangle and become pliable, and just the tension that I was feeling in my back and my stomach, like it all kind of just like It didn't like go away completely because I obviously still have a little bit of anxiety about everything, but just like going through that was very, very nice and beneficial for my brain. And we also talked about my sleep habits, which are not good. And we talked about my lack of sleep, how I wake up really often, how I have a lot of like nightmares and just a lot of anxiety around the nighttime in general. So she kind of asked me to like close my eyes and look inside my brain. And I kind of told her how, because she asked like where I think that maybe stems from, or if there's like some trauma or something that I'm holding on to. And so I told her how I feel like my subconscious and my conscious are just like very off. Like I feel like my conscious brain is like working through some of this trauma and I'm like starting to move past some things and heal from some things, but I feel like my subconscious is still holding on to things that like I don't even know of, or my subconscious is holding on to things that I don't even know happened to me, or like I don't even remember happening to me, like maybe when I was like really, really young, or I don't know, just like things that my conscious brain isn't totally like in sync with. So she asked me to like look inside my brain and try and find that like subconscious part of my brain and like try to tap into that and try to open that door, so to say, to look into that area of my brain. And so I did. I closed my eyes. I tried to really focus on, I don't know, like where that was at. And I ended up in my brain, like opening a door and looking inside and seeing just this storm and like just this dark, stormy, chaotic, I don't know, area. And then in that area, there's just like another version of myself that's just sitting in that chaos and in that darkness, literally just like this, like just sitting and like rocking back and forth, like literally just freaking out. So from there, she kind of asked me like, what does this version of you need to feel comforted, to feel seen, to be helped? Like what does she need to hear, and like what do you need to do to get her out of this dark, stormy, chaotic area? And it wasn't so much of like what I needed to say, it was more in my brain what I needed to do. And so in my head, I know a lot of this probably isn't making sense, but in my brain when I'm visualizing all this, I can just see myself reaching out, like my conscious self and that the version of me in my subconscious chaotic stormy area. The conscious me is holding out her hand to the subconscious me, just like pulling her out, like grab my hand, I'll lead you out of this stormy area. So as I'm grabbing her hand and telling her like, it's okay, I know you're scared, but like I'm here, like we'll do this together. And we kind of both just got up slowly and started walking towards this door. And in my brain, I showed her that there is, like, outside of this door, there is light and there is this whole other atmosphere that she didn't know existed because that door was just shut for so long. So as I'm like holding her hand and as we're like walking out this door, she's obviously very like dark gray, not doing well. So as she's like coming out of the darkness and like stepping into that new light atmosphere, some of the light is kind of starting to like go into her. The girl that's like helping me all through this, like in person, she is asking me like, how are you feeling? Like what's happening? And so I told her that, you know, this subconscious dark girl is kind of starting to soak in some of that light, but it's gonna take some time. Like she's not gonna feel like great right away. Like things aren't going to just be fixed, but she sees that it doesn't always have to be so dark and scary. And she's seen that light, that other side of the door, and that my conscious self, just needs to give her time and space and the permission to heal on her own time and not put so many expectations on her, because that was something that I felt really heavy and do feel like really heavy in my life, is I put so much expectations on myself to be fixed and to heal from things, even though like I know that it's going to take time. But when it takes time, I get hard on myself and I get mad at myself. Like I should be healed from this. Like I shouldn't be struggling with this anymore. Like why why, like, it's been years since this certain thing happened, like, why am I still struggling? Like, I get mad at myself and I get hard on myself for not being over things, and I just need to stop doing that and just giving myself the grace and the permission to heal in my own time. So then we kind of started going into like why I put such high expectations on myself and why I don't just let myself be a normal existing human being, and why I think that I for some reason need to like accomplish all of these crazy things to be like worthy, you know? And so we talked about a little bit of that and how I feel like growing up, things were very chaotic in my home growing up, and there was a lot of, I don't know, like fighting, and there was a lot of just chaos. And so I think I never wanted to be loud. I didn't ever want to like need attention. I didn't ever want to like need love or like need, because I felt like a burden if I like asked or like needed anything, because everybody was already just going through a lot. So then I forgot like what led to this other conversation, but then that led to a conversation about how I just have never really felt like I could just exist and just like be as I was, and just like I said, like be worthy of like love and connection. And I felt like I had to do a bunch of things or be a certain way in order to be accepted and to be loved. So that kind of geared us into a conversation of how a lot of important relationships in my life have been centered around like what they can get out of it and like what they can get out of, like from me. And I just never felt like I was enough just how I was, with all of my parts and pieces and broken pieces and not broken pieces, and you know, like I just never felt like I was enough just how I was. Even though now like I know that I am, and especially as someone who does have a relationship with God, like I know that I don't have to be this like amazing person to be worthy of love and to be noticed. And that is something that I really want to like pray more about, is to really have my eyes be open to the fact that I am worthy and beautiful and enough just how the Lord created me. So then anyway, like all of that stuff then led to a conversation about if there was a place in my head that I could go to maybe before I fall asleep, or like my happy place, so to say, where I could go to and feel peace and feel calm so that I don't have as many nightmares, and I can try and tell myself to dream about those things and dream about that place and kind of get my head out of this anxiety stormy area before I go to sleep so I don't have nightmares. So I told her how like when I close my eyes and I think of like just the place where I feel safe and at peace and where I feel enough and where I feel like I can just exist happily, and that is in nature, in the forest, in the mountains, you know, just somewhere that I am literally just laying on a bed of moss and just like becoming the moss. And I have like animals around me, and I told her how like I want to heal that part of me that is afraid of connecting with other humans. But like right now, I feel like I always feel so safe and happy and accepted and, you know, whatever with animals, like wild animals. And then I told her about how I went on a walk the other day, and as I was on this walk, there was this cute little bird that was, I don't know, probably like 10-15 feet in front of me, and like every time I would take a few steps, like he would take a few steps, and then like I would take a few steps and he would take a few steps, and like he was like walking with me, and it just made me so happy, and it just like made me feel so good. Like this bird is literally just chilling here. He's just enjoying this beautiful day. I mean, I'm not in the mind of a bird, so like maybe they have anxiety, but I'm like, he's not worried about like, I don't know, what people are saying about him or like how people are viewing him. Like he just wants to go on a walk and catch some worms and take a nap in a tree, you know? So I feel like around animals and stuff, they just have this, I don't know, energy, I guess, that they put off of just being able to happily exist. And so I kind of like pick up off that. So going back to my happy place, like that's another reason why like that's just my happy place, is because animals have always been a very calming and safe thing for me, whereas people haven't been a safe thing for me. So in my happy place, there's just animals and nature, and there might be some people there, like maybe my fiance or, you know, whatever, but for the most part, that's my happy place. So something that I need to start practicing more is going to that happy place before I go to sleep, and hopefully that will help train my brain to think about those things instead of just automatically going to dark, scary, twisty thoughts, because my nightmares are a huge issue for me. I mean, I don't sleep very well. I wake up around like 2 to 5 times a night, depending on my nightmares and how bad my anxiety is that night. It is very, very, very rare I will sleep through the night. So that's, I don't know, something that we're really, really working on. But anyway, wow, that was a really long spiel. Aside from all of that, the last couple days, it has warmed up so much and it feels like finally spring weather. It's been like in the mid to high 60s for the last couple days. So this weekend, I finally got outside and was able to hike around my little like local foothills mountainous area kind of. And oh my gosh, that was the most amazing feeling. Like to finally go outside and get some exercise and have the sun shining on my face. I felt like a new woman. As I continue to take some more time offline, there is again a couple of things that I'm noticing, and maybe I touched on these before, I don't know. But first, I find myself craving more human connection and interaction. Like before, I felt like I was just always really, really anxious to talk to people, and I just didn't really feel understood by people, and I don't know, like conversations and people were just kind of scary, and I feel like I was hiding a lot behind my phone because I would feel like totally comfortable with texting people and like talking to people online and all that stuff, but like in person and actually having like face-to-face, you know, connection with other humans was really rough. But now, like as I'm spending time off social media and offline, and I'm kind of taking away that like shield, you know, that I'm hiding behind, I don't know, I'm just finding that I'm getting used to talking to people, and I'm actually like wanting to talk to people, and it's crazy and it's awesome at the same time, because as much as humans suck sometimes, as much as we all humans suck sometimes, I feel like there's also so much beauty and just so much to be gifted in conversations, and I just find myself craving that more. I find myself craving to know more about people, to know what they like, what they don't like. You know, I don't know. I want to know their stories. I want to know how they're feeling, how they're doing, and it's refreshing, oddly refreshing. Secondly, I'm starting to feel and actually welcoming being bored. Before, I felt like I was just always so antsy, you know, like I was restless and I just always wanted to be like doing something, and I still am to a certain extent like that because of my ADHD. I feel like it just makes it really, really hard for me to just like not do anything. But like the other day, I was just laying on my bed and I had a cup of tea and the sun was going down and I was looking out my window and I just sat there and I watched the sun go down and I was sipping my tea and I was like, wow, I'm actually having a great time. And my fiance walked in and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, just watching the sunset. And he's like, do you want me to turn your TV on or something? And I was like, no, I'm good. That was just so like weird for me, but it was also so cool. I don't know. I feel like we've been so accustomed to like having, you know, stimuli all the time that, you know, shutting the world up for a while is weird. But once you do it for a while and you get used to it, it's so nice. Thirdly, kind of going back a little bit to my, you know, expectations and feeling like I have to be a certain way, that I feel like has definitely lessened a lot being off of social media, especially as like being a content creator. I feel like it's never society and it's never like social media that's like making me feel a certain way. It's me like comparing myself to like other people. It's me creating all of these thoughts in my brain that like I have to look a certain way or I have to have a certain aesthetic, you know, to be seen. And now being off social media for a while, like I haven't been wearing, I never really wear makeup anyway, but like I've been breaking out really bad lately and I just like haven't really cared, honestly. Like in person, like I haven't really like tried to wear makeup to cover it up, and I feel like if I'm online, I'm usually like trying to maybe not make those imperfections as noticeable, and I'm just like finding that I'm accepting myself as I am a lot easier being offline. And then another thing that I was talking about with the girls in my group chat that are also doing this 30-day like reset thing with me is I had just like this realization that like online life will never replace real life, and you can never live online life in replacement of real life. It'll never feel the same. You won't get the same out of it, you know? So like, I don't know, I feel like these days, like I said before, we kind of live a lot of our life online, and like before I would take pictures of it. I mean, I still kind of take pictures of everything that I'm doing to an extent, but like before I would take pictures of like all these things to like post them online. And like I wasn't really doing it for myself and like doing it like being super in the moment, because I was always like, oh, that's like an aesthetic picture, like maybe I should take a picture and like post it online. Just being offline for the last couple weeks, it's made me realize how much living I haven't been doing just for myself, which I think I also said the last time I updated you guys. But other than that, I also got to spend a day with one of my friends, Eve, love her to death, and we got to just hang out for most of the day and had some really great conversations. We were just going to, because we went to Barnes & Noble, and then we were just going to read out like in my backyard, but we ended up just like talking for a couple hours and it was so great and it was so needed, and just that like connection and just like hearing her talk about things that she was going through and me talk about things that I was going through, and just like sharing that part of our life and just like connecting in that way, it was so refreshing and it was so nice. I genuinely feel like this little reset detox thing I'm doing could not have been done at a better time, because of all my health things that I'm going through and because of all the mental things that I'm going through and you know, all these things. I'm so happy that I decided to take this time to be super present, and I'm just learning so much about myself and about life in general, just unplugging and, you know, taking away those distractions that have been distracting me from all these things for so long. And I know to some people this might sound really dramatic, like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, like just get offline every so often, like you're not living your life online. But it's not until you literally get offline and like delete your social media or whatever for a while that you realize how much you're putting into it, you know? I don't know. I'm still just trying to establish some new routines and some healthy habits, and I think I'm definitely on the right track. I think I still have a lot to learn from this, and honestly I might extend my 30 days if by the end of it I still don't feel like I am satisfied with being online, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm gonna play it by ear, see how things go, but as of right now, still having a great time, and I feel such a big shift in my life right now in the best way, and I think not being online has helped like open my eyes to that so much. But anyway, this has already been a long time for me talking, so I will update you guys again in, I don't know, a couple days. Maybe I'll be in a different location this time, because I feel like it looks like I never leave my room, and that's not the case. I just don't film anywhere else except for this room, so I'll try to film more of like what I'm actually doing and maybe some like B-roll of random things. But for now, I'm going to go lay down, probably cuddle my cat, and maybe just drink some tea and look out my window again. Hello, friends. I am very obviously like mid mental breakdown right now, so I don't know why. I thought that right now would be a good time to film, but I just need to chat, okay? I just need to chat. First of all, I'm on the last, well, technically tomorrow's the last day of my like 30-day reset detox thing. I did my taxes today, so I think that triggered my mental breakdown, but that's also not the point of the mental breakdown. I think that triggered part of the mental breakdown. To be completely honest, I don't know if I'm ready to get back on social media yet. You're probably wondering where I've been the last like 12 days, because I can't even remember the last time I filmed. The last like week and a half has been relatively normal. I mean, nothing like crazy has happened, so I just didn't feel the need to film. But over the last couple days, I've been feeling a very big like emotional shift, and I just kind of wanted to talk about that because I think it has a lot to do with my 30 days ending and with spring coming, and I think that right now is a big time of change for me. So today, yeah, I was doing my taxes. I just got home from my mom's house because I literally could not figure it out on my own, especially with YouTube. It just made it really, really difficult because I just did not know how to do any of that. I don't know, like while I was there, I ended up having to pay like a pretty decent sized chunk of money. Well, it's decent size for me. Chunk of money. I mean, Google doesn't really like tax you. So I had to pay a lot of that back from what I made on YouTube throughout the year, which I am so thankful for, and I'm so grateful even for the opportunity to like make money off of YouTube. But yeah, just doing that with my normal W-2 from like my normal day job, it was a mess. But yes, I ended up having to pay like a decent chunk of money for taxes, and I don't know, like just as I was having to pay that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a lot of my savings. Like I'm pretty much like draining a lot of my savings like paying these taxes, and I was like, I don't have the money for this. But then I thought about the last year and all of the shit that I've bought in books, thrifting, clothes. Like I'm not a huge spender, but I also like if I have the money to spend, like I usually spend it, which I know is really dumb, and I know like I just need to be more financially smart. But I don't know, all of that just got me thinking about like just money in general and things in general, and I got so mad at myself because I feel like I have made certain things so important in my life that shouldn't be that important, and I've spent a lot of time, energy, and money on things that serve no purpose in my life besides just being things. So I was just getting really mad at myself about stuff, and I guess I wasn't getting super mad at myself as much as I was feeling very convicted about what I make a priority in my life and what has authority over my life. So I've talked about this a little bit. I don't know. I am a Christian. I have a relationship with God, and so that relationship is the most important for me, and it's the center of my life. It's everything to me, and I just feel like over the last year, especially like since I've become a content creator, I've put what I look like and what I have, I've put that as a higher priority than other things that should have been more important in my life. So I'm feeling really convicted, and I'm looking at everything I have, and I'm so beyond grateful for everything that I have, but I'm just so mad at myself because I just don't understand like just why I always just want more, you know? I feel like with social media, like I go on there and I see all these people and all the things that they have and all the things that they're buying and all the ads that people are trying to sell me, and I just like sit here and I'm like, for what? Like, for what? Like, yes, I love books and I love buying books, and I have over 100 books on my shelves right now for literally no reason. And I haven't read like 90% of them, and they've been sitting on my like I just collect and I just collect and I just want more and I want more and I want more, and it's just like, for what? So that is just a personal conviction that I'm having right now. I love my books so much, and these are a source of my joy. The reason that I've bought a lot of these books is for videos that do really well and for the aesthetic, and of course I'm going to read them at some point, but it's just overconsumption. Did I need to buy 100 books in the last year? Absolutely not. Like, did I need to go thrifting for clothes that I literally do not need? No, I did not. And as fun as that stuff is, it's just, I feel like in my life, and especially with being on social media, I just wanted so much all the time, and like nothing was ever enough. And I don't want to get back on social media and start to see more things again, see more ads, and you know, like I don't want to start wanting more again. And I know that that's just like some personal work that I have to do. So anyway, that personal conviction is just kind of heavy right now, and I just literally want to pack up all of my crap and give it away and sell it, and I don't want it anymore, because it's just like, I could just as easily go to the library and get free books and read those books. I could just as easily wear the same 5 outfits every week. I don't want anything anymore, because having more just makes me want more, and I'm so sick of wanting more. I want contentment and I want simplicity. And so that's just something that I'm really going to be working on in the next couple weeks and today. So that was part of my mental breakdown. And then the other part of my mental breakdown is the fact that I am just a very, very sensitive person. And some days, for literally no reason at all, I will just feel the weight of the world. And things don't even have to be happening to me, but I get heartbroken like it is happening to me. Just for example, like if a family member and their spouse is fighting and like something's going on, like I'm heartbroken for them that they're going through that, for things that are happening in the world. It just breaks my heart so much. And I literally like, I'm so fortunate that these things are not happening to me, but my heart breaks for the people like it is happening to me, if that makes sense. And then I sit here and I just feel all of this like hurt and sadness for just things that are going on in other people's lives. And I sit here and I think about it, and then I think how this is literally like not even a fraction of what Jesus feels and what he felt, when he was on the earth. And it just blows my mind. I just don't understand. I don't understand how he does it. And then I get so emotional because I can't like physically, mentally comprehend like how good he is. I don't know. My brain is just like, I feel like my brain has thoughts that it doesn't have the capacity to have. I don't know. I just get so emotional sometimes. There's just days where I literally just rethink my entire life. And I really question, like, what is this? What is everything for? Like, what is the purpose? What purpose is this serving in my life? What purpose is this serving in the lives of the people around me? Like, I don't know, but I also just feel like being on social media all the time and like being almost too aware of like everything going on in the world at all times, like it can really desensitize us from life just in general. And I think when we take a step back and we take a break from seeing so much all the time, it really like, we get our emotions back a little bit at a time. The longer that I disconnect from other things, the more aware and sensitive I feel. So yeah, there's just a lot going on in my brain right now. And as much as it like sucks, because I'm obviously very like upset, but it's nice because I like when I get convicted, and I like when I feel like this sometimes, because it really puts life into perspective. And as hard as it is, and as much as it sucks to like feel all these things at once, it really opens my eyes in a different way that I appreciate. Because then it reminds me of the things that I've been neglecting, and it reminds me of the things that I should be putting as a priority. It reminds me of the things that I've been putting first that I shouldn't be putting first, and caring about that I shouldn't be caring about. So overall, this whole 30-day challenge I feel like has been very life-changing in a lot of different ways. I mean, just being off social media in general has been a really nice break. Also, being in my like extensive therapies and other types of therapies, as well as being off social media, has changed my life a lot. But now I almost just don't even really know where to go from here, because I don't know if I should continue to be on social media a lot, or if I should just put certain boundaries on it. Or I feel very lost in certain areas, but I also feel like I have really found myself in others. And so right now I think maybe I need like a debriefing period. Like I do the 30 days, and then after the 30 days I take a few days to reflect and think and make some decisions, and I don't know, just see kind of what I want to do from now on. For tonight, I honestly might go a little crazy and put a lot of things in bags to give away and sell. I don't know. I know I talk about this book a lot, but it's for good reasons. But there is a part in the back of this book, kind of, I don't know if it's the back, but more towards the middle end point, where he just talks about like his personal belongings. And like at one point he was only going through like 3 different outfits each season, because he just realized that like his possessions were like kind of holding him back. And I don't know, that's just kind of like how I'm feeling right now. But yeah, that was my little rant for right now. And I will update you guys tomorrow, because tomorrow is my last day, and then we will go through a little debriefing. But yeah, there was a lot happening in my brain that I just really needed to get out. I'm home alone right now, so there's nobody like here for me to just rant to. So I'm ranting to you. I hope that's okay. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go relax or something now, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Today has been like a pretty nice day. The weather's like 50 degrees, so I am on a little hike with Danny, except for he's running very far ahead of me because I don't run. I walk and sprint, but I don't jog. So this is where we're at, but it's been really nice to get outside and start hiking again. I've had a really weird, I don't know, like a pressing dream to like hike the John Muir Trail. So I'm like nowhere near where I need to be like active wise. So I'm practicing. Okay. Hello friends, me and Danny just got back from our hike, so I'm a little bit dead. My body is hurting quite a bit, but I'm so beyond proud of myself because we hiked, I think, almost 6 miles. So no, I'm really proud of myself for that. Kind of like I said in one of my clips, I, for some reason over the last couple weeks, have just like had this weird dream come upon me where like I would love to once in my lifetime hike the John Muir Trail. If you don't know what that is, it's like a pretty decent size like stretch of land that I think it's like a little under a month hike, like backpacking trip. 211 miles, I believe. So crazy, but I am not actively in the shape that I need to be to do that. So if that is something that I would like to, I don't know, work towards, then I really need to start getting my body back in shape. But something that happened over the last couple weeks, I mean, alongside all the other stuff that has happened, I have felt a huge shift also in my body as well as like my mentality, and I feel like my body and my brain are like finally on the same page, and I just feel like it's time to heal and it's time to get back on track and get my body back in good physical condition. And it's time, you know, like I've been struggling for a while with my health, and it's just time to be done with it. And I think so much of my issues were so much worse because of my mentality and because of the way that I would react to things, the amount of fear that I had around my health. And I feel like over the last couple weeks, a lot of that has shifted and changed. And I think that is a huge thanks to my therapies that I'm going to, my talk therapy, of course, but also my craniosacral therapy with that somato emotional release thing. That has hugely impacted the way that my brain, body, and spirit are like in alignment. So yeah, it's just, like I keep saying, it's time. I'm ready to get my life back and stop being so afraid of everything all the time. Today is the last day of my 30-day reset challenge thing, and I'm just not quite ready for it to be over, to be honest. And it doesn't have to be over. Like, I can carry out everything that I've been doing into my life from now on. And I feel like over the last month, I have developed some new habits that I would like to continue. I still kind of check my phone pretty often, but I think that it's just the act of checking my phone is just like ingrained in my brain, so it doesn't even matter what I'm checking. Like, I check my emails a crap ton now for some reason, when before it would be notifications from like Instagram or Facebook, you know, whatever. So I am noticing that like I'm still checking my phone a lot, but it's not as much as it has been. So overall, I feel like my screen time average has gone down. I'm trying to look at the reasons that I was on my phone, and it keeps saying that I spent, like, this specific day, it said I spent 3 hours on Instagram, but that's because it's my work Instagram, because I use my personal phone for my work. So it's so hard to keep track of like what I'm actually doing versus what I have to do for work. But sometimes I also feel like this is not correct, because I know for a solid fact that I did not spend 3 hours on Instagram this day. So maybe if I keep the app open, but I'm not like actually on it, like I wonder how that works. I don't know. But overall, I've also learned how to not be on my phone. Like when I do just get bored, or if there is like some in between moments, I guess, like I don't reach for my phone anymore really. I do other things, or I just talk. Like when me and Danny are just kind of hanging out, instead of, I mean, sometimes I am on my phone or on my computer, like looking up stuff or doing research or, you know, whatever, but I've just noticed that I'm not on my phone as much as I used to be. Mentally, I just feel so much clearer and I feel so much better. Overall, kind of like I said last night, this has been a very transformative time and experience, and I would highly, highly, highly suggest, like even if it's just a week or 2 weeks or whatever, or however long, I 100% recommend that you just do a full like detox, especially on like an online detox, because again, like I was saying before, just like stepping away from all of that noise and like all those distractions, like it just teaches you so much about yourself and the things that you're caring about, the things that you're putting first, the time that you're putting into things, and it just sheds so much light on so many things in your life. Like I feel like if I hadn't have stepped away from being online during this time of a lot of therapy and like transformative type of thinking and whatnot, I don't think I would have made nearly the amount of progress that I made being offline. Going forward, I of course still want to be a content creator. I think it's going to be shifting a lot, which is something that I already felt before I even started this challenge. I already felt like I wanted to make a shift in the content that I was creating and just like what I was putting my time into and whatnot. So I'm going to continue rolling with that and adding more lifestyle things and maybe taking not like an extended break from Bookstagram, but I just honestly, like, that's not really one of my priorities. But if I do spend more time on it, I kind of also want to maybe just do something new with it and something more fun and not just trying to keep up, I guess, with society and posts and things. I'm going to continue to try and develop more healthy routines, and I'm going to continue to try and minimize my time online, as well as increasing my connection to people and family and myself. Now that we're at the end, I feel like I'm a lot more open to being like social, and I'm a lot more curious about like other people, and I'm wanting to actually hang out and connect and be social more often now than I was before. My anxiety, I feel like, has gone down quite a bit. It's still like obviously very present, and some days are worse than others, but I feel like as a whole, I was really bad. I can't even remember where I put my paper, but I was really, really bad about documenting everything. But it's because like by a certain point, I just like was paying so close attention to like how I was feeling and what I was doing that I just kind of stopped documenting it, because I was just like mentally paying a lot more attention, if that makes sense. And especially like after the first week or two, when I noticed like patterns, like I'm constantly anxious, or like I feel a certain way at a certain time of day, or I feel a certain way after I do a certain thing. I just kind of paid more attention to those things and like addressed those things kind of in the beginning. So I just didn't really feel like I needed to continue documenting those things. But I did do pretty good with my daily journal. I think I missed the last like 6 to 8 days because there was just a chunk of time at the end of this month where not a whole lot was going on. Like it was kind of just like my average day-to-day life, so I didn't really feel like there was anything super crazy or important to document. But I am going to be looking back throughout whatever I did right throughout the 30 days and just reflect and think about all the things that have happened in the last 30 days and all of the ways that my life has changed and all of the new things that I'm doing that are helping and the things that I've cut out that weren't helping. And yeah, it's nice to look back. to see where I was and how far I've come from there. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I will link all my stuff below. So if you want to do this little challenge, you can on your own time. I will be sharing more photos and things about this last 30 days over on my Instagram, which is Faith's Reading Things. And also it's Simply Faith. I love you guys so much. I'm very excited to share this with you guys. There's so many moments in this video where I have just been very vulnerable and just raw, and that's a little bit scary to share all of those like super personal and intense feelings and things, but I want to create this space to be a very safe and open space where you guys can see me in my life, and I can create that space where maybe you guys feel seen or understood, or just know that you have someone who understands. I hope you guys are having the most wonderful beginning of spring, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video.